We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180, 1230 KGEO, and 1410 KERI. Our guests, Richard and Tom from the Election Integrity Project.
Is this the one that says vote early and vote often?
No. That's the Chicago Election Integrity Project. But I do have a question for you, speaking of back east. I remember the situation in the last election really fried me. I think it was the Black Panthers, I'm not sure. Actually, it was the Black Panthers. In Philadelphia, were intimidating people going into election booths.
Yes.
And the Attorney General decided, for whatever reason, not to prosecute that. Is that the kind of thing that you guys are, or one of the things that you guys are trying to eliminate, is that type of voter intimidation and fraud?
Yes. We will deal with voter intimidation.
What are you going to do if you got a bunch of people standing out there?
Okay, let me explain that. We're going to have 2 poll observers there. One of them will go to the site supervisor who works for the county, and we'll ask him to cure that problem.
Mm-hmm.
They will document that situation and swear as a witness that that's true. They will try and get other witnesses to also validate that is happening. Our poll observer will call the county headquarters of election integrity, and we will get with the elections office and tell them that problem is happening, and ask them to cure the problem and let our poll observer know that is being done. If that persists and we can't get it fixed that way, we're going to have an attorney on call to get involved so that election day we can have that problem cured.
Good.
We want no voter intimidation.
You know, we all have our preferences. I don't really want to know who yours are because it's not a part of this program, but we all have our preferences for who we want to see elected. The important thing is to have the process be the integrity of the process, so whoever the people decide we're going to have elected gets elected by the people, not by fraud or any kind of manipulation of voters, regardless of who the candidate is. If it's somebody I don't like, but it's somebody the people want, that's the people's choice. So,
right.
And that's really what you guys are trying to do. And
that is correct.
I admire that. Off the air, you had mentioned something about duplicates.
Yes.
What's going on with the duplicates?
We met with the elections office. We did a retrieval against the voter roll, and we identified 140 potential duplicates where people are registered twice. Elections office took our list and we talked about it. They are going to get back to us. Now, a very striking pattern is that we will have an individual registered, say, John Doe, and he'll have a birth date of January 15th, 1950. And we'll see another registration for that John Doe at the same address, but his birth date will be 1 day different. We also had, there were a lot of those. There were also the one where it was John Doe at the address birth date, and then there'd be a John Anthony Doe having a middle name, same address, same birth date. So the names and the slight variation in birth date, that's the pattern we saw. Very striking.
And since you're not checking IDs, since we can't legally,
yes,
it makes it easier to have that kind of fraud going on.
Yes. Election Integrity Project supports voter ID. We are not pursuing it for this election. We're focusing on poll observation and analyzing the voter roll. We think in 2014 we will be pursuing that by proposition. An interesting fact is Georgia has had a photo ID law for some time now, and the state will reimburse people who cannot afford to buy an ID. And so far, one half of 1% of the people have requested that. So that is not very many people. Not very many at all.
So nothing's going to get done without people. And
yes,
how do you get people to take on this responsibility?
Well, we go and talk everywhere we can. I was at the this morning at 7 a.m. I was at the Business Executive Roundtable talking to about 10 guys there. And by the way, they gave me a donation, and we want donations, and you can donate at the electionintegrityproject.com. or you can call me at 661-735-7792. But this evening I'm speaking to the Kern City Town Hall. We spoke yesterday at the Republican Women's Conference. But if they work for us, they must be nonpartisan when they're poll observers. We also spoke Monday at Tehachapi Women's. So we've spoken at a lot of places, and that's the way we get most of our observers. People have been pretty good about joining. We have approximately 75 right now. I hope to get to 100. With 100, we can cover a third of the polling locations.
Well, and I'm going to be out there for you. I'm a volunteer.
Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that.
Our in-studio guest, Richard and Tom from the Election Integrity Project.
One of the things I noticed in your pamphlet, nice pamphlet, by the way.
Thank you.
Says you oppose 100% of the vote-by-mail only elections. Why is that?
Yes, we do oppose vote-by-mail. Well, from a very simple...
now, you oppose 100% vote-by-mail, not the way it's currently set up.
Yes, we do. We oppose vote-by-mail, period, as well. For example, if you're a voter and you happen to receive your vote by mail late and you don't return it on time by Election Day, your vote's not going to be counted. You do have the option, and we like this option, to take your vote by mail to a precinct where your vote would normally be cast and deliver it yourself, or you can go down to the elections office at 1115 Truxton and put it in there. Vote by mail has potential problems. For example, if a person is deceased and the vote by mail ballot still comes to their household, someone else could vote for them, and no one would really know the difference. They'll know the signature.
So if they're deceased, they have to come down by them. They have to bring it themselves to the polling booth.
Well, if they can, they could go ahead and do that. They might have to dig out first.
Well, Clay, what we could do is we could actually bring your ballot and get your health insurance at the post office. Maybe we can set it up that way.
Well, that's coming. What about the military vote?
Okay, we're big on military vote. In California, the military vote must go out 60 days ahead of the election so the troops have time to return their ballot and it be counted.
Good.
And in fact, they can, even if they want to, fax in their vote, and they will accept that. We confirmed with the elections office that those ballots did go out 60 days ahead.
Good.
So
Good.
I think we're good shape on that.
So they went out 60 days ahead. That
Yes.
doesn't guarantee that they're going to be counted, though. Do they have time after the election's over to still send in their vote, or does it have to be received prior to the
It
election?
has to be received on Election Day, by Election Day.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
But they can fax
Good.
if they get in a bind.
Now give us your website again and your
Website is electionintegrityproject.com. If you want to get involved there, you click the Get Involved tab, pull down, select November Poll Observer, fill out the form. The county will be on there. It'll be routed to me, and I'll contact you.
Or you can make a cash donation.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And our phone number is 661-735-7792. 661-735-7792.
and the training is going to be when again?
The training, right now we have 2 dates. One is Wednesday, October 24th at 6 p.m. You can attend October 27th at 11 a.m. That'll be at CC's Southern Hospitality Sports Bar and Grill, 3510 Weibel Road.
And you're buying, right?
I'm buying. Food will be available, but I am not buying.
Oh.
The owner there, Carolyn, was very happy to have us there.
Okay, so you're not buying the adult beverages, though, right?
I can't afford that. Our donations barely cover our printed material.
I understand. Thank you, Tom and Richard. Thank you so much for what you do. It's important that you guys are here, and thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, and appreciate you asking us.
You're welcome. And next week, we're going to have Kathy Abernathy in for the entire show, talking about all the propositions. We'll be back in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio News Talk 1180.